Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
I'm Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our NCIS Season 17, Episode 11 preview, expectations, theories. We're going to be waiting a while in order to see it. Why do you guys got to do this to us?
Yeah.
Like, the last episode was Ziva. We know that there's going to be another episode of Ziva, but they're not going to put an episode on Christmas Eve, obviously. They're not going to put an episode on New Year's Eve, though we all need to drink like it's New Year's Eve tonight after watching that. Instead, we're going to wait to January 7th. We'll tell you what we know about this episode now, and we'll start to kind of speculate on the future. Before we do, though, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates.
Also, there are major spoilers ahead in case you haven't watched tonight's episode yet.
Yes, you have been warned. Okay, all the spoilers. Sahar is Sarah. Okay, no, I'm joking, but okay, so...
She's a spy!
Yeah, we have learned that Sahar is really Sarah, and Gibbs has shot her, and now Sarah is seemingly dead. Episode 11 is airing on January 7th. It is entitled In the Wind. This is presumably the final episode for Cote de Pablo on NCIS this season. If she comes back, it has not been confirmed or noted anywhere else.
No, and I mean, I feel like the door is going to be open. We get this question a lot. Do we think we're going to see her again? Yeah, I do think we're going to see her again. Maybe near the end of this season, maybe next season if it's renewed. I just feel like the door is open, and these episodes have been so fun, and everyone's enjoyed them so much. The ratings are great. Everyone seems to be having a fun time.
Yeah.
Lots of great stories left to tell. Why not bring her back?
Well, I mean, if we're going to just reference something from the interview we did with Steve and Frank, I know one of the things that they sort of said was if you were to ask him a few years ago if Ziva was going to come back, the response would be, well, we don't know. And that's kind of where they are right now. Granted, they also tried to say that a green jacket was just a green jacket, as you mentioned. And the other video about possible
Sarah being a spy, and you guys tried to lead us off the track. But, green jacket is not always a green jacket, like you tried to tell us. But that's fine. We know that about this show. So, if they haven't announced yet that they're going to be using more of Cote, they're not going to just tell us. They're going to wait until the time is right.
Yeah.
And then talk about it. But as of right now, it seems like there's not anything else planned after that. But I feel the door is open.
And I'm
happy about that.
Yeah, I'm happy about it, and I don't think they're going to craft episode 11 in some sort of horrific way where Ziva's going to be unable to return. They're not going to kill her off again or anything like that.
And I've seen people really worried about that. And obviously, I can't say anything for sure, but I would legit be on the floor shocked if they went through this entire arc just to kill her off at the end of it. I can't see it happening. I just don't believe it.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff that could happen, and I think with that in mind, we kind of have to address the obvious elephant in the room now, which is that there are only just 60 more minutes of NCIS, and that's including commercials. And there's no indication as to whether or not we're going to see Tony or Tali in the upcoming episode.
Well, the fact that Ziva's going to be back for this episode, and seemingly her story is mostly wrapped up with Sahar, why is she back for this episode then?
Okay, I think there's two different reasons for this.
And they're called Tony and Tali.
Okay, that's why I was putting them together. That's one of them. The other one is, Gibbs needs a shoulder right now. He just killed Sahar, and it was Sarah, and he cares about Phineas, and who knows what's going to happen there. I think you got to sort of tie together some of those loose ends a little bit more, but I think the obvious one is now everything seems to be out of the way for the reunion to happen. The question just becomes, how do you make the reunion happen? I have an idea.
I just feel like the reunion is going to need to happen. In the last episode, she actually made the call to Tony and said, get into hiding with Tali. She made that call. We saw her in her spy shack, move the dresser aside, pull out the phone. She made the call. She told Gibbs she made the call. So she will have to make the call to get them out. If she makes that call and is like, okay, everything is cool, come on out, then why wouldn't he just come on over at that point?
I have another idea. what if more instead of Tony coming over, Ziva goes somewhere else, i.e. Ziva goes to New York, where just so happens Tony is right now. The reason I'm putting all this out there is...
No, that's a great theory.
I think we've spent so much time talking about what if Michael finds the time in his schedule. I'm thinking more, well, Cody's not a regular on NCIS.
Absolutely.
She doesn't need to be there for every episode, so maybe they just went and shot some footage in New York while Michael's doing Bull, and that's why it is so secretive and nobody has seen or heard of anything.
Yeah, that's a great theory. I'm on board with that theory. That makes a lot of sense because, us included, all anyone's ever been talking about is the fact that Michael can't leave Bull in the middle of filming, and it films across the country from NCIS at the exact same time. So how are you going to get Michael there? But yeah, Cody can be brought there, and there's no reason why they wouldn't throw some money to have them maybe work on a weekend or work during a time when Michael isn't actually in a scene with somebody. They can do that.
And I think the other thing that's just kind of important here is just productions. They can make anything look like anything. And what I mean by that is it doesn't even necessarily have to be that Ziva and Tony are in New York. They could just make it so that it's somewhere else in Washington, D.C., and Tony has come back to her, but in reality, production-wise, Cody has gone to Michael. But
absolutely. We just finished watching The Boys, and then they're supposed to be in New York, but they're sitting in front of the conservatory in Toronto, and they've just, put a little Chrysler building in CGI'd in the background. So they can really make...
Yeah.
It's movie magic.
It's the magic. You can do whatever you want. And I think ultimately it would be, I don't want to say unsatisfying, but it would be a bummer if you don't see, Tony or Tali or anything like that in some capacity after everything that we've gone through. Plus, like you just said, it feels like that whole arc with Sahar is kind of wrapping up.
Yeah, I don't feel that the rest of Ziva's arc is to stay here and help Gibbs with Phineas. It's just, it doesn't feel like there's enough squeeze here in this fruit.
Here's the problem, though. We know that Sahar is seemingly dead. We don't know, though, what other associates that she has. And maybe Sahar had some security checkpoints or conversations she was set to have at a certain time. And if they don't hear from her, maybe these other bad people are going to come out of the woodwork. I'm not saying that would be something that lasts an entire episode, but I could see it being something that's maybe 10 or 15 minutes of it, because they got to have some sort of action component in here somewhere.
They do. It just feels like once you've got the really big bad done and over with, do we want to watch then an episode of Ziva cleaning up all the scrubs that are left and the goon squad left over?
Well,
it just doesn't feel like there's enough there for that.
That's why, just do 10 minutes of it. Mostly I'm just suggesting this because I don't think that Michael's going to have 10 or 15 minutes to do on NCIS. I think if they have a reunion, don't be surprised or sad if it only lasts a few minutes on the show. And
I'm okay with that too, because it's not about how long we have him. It's the quality of that moment. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be good. And I was so excited about tonight's episode. It gave me so much of what I wanted.
Yeah.
So far, the entire arc has been really great, and I've enjoyed it. I have faith that they're going to bring me what I need, and it's going to be quality.
Well, before we go, we should spend a couple of minutes on Gibbs now and what's happening with him, because, he's killed people before. That element of it isn't really that big of a deal, but the person he's killed this time, he's bonded a lot with Phineas. He's become this sort of, Phineas looks to Gibbs as a father figure.
A mentor.
Yeah, that's been very clear.
Even him just calling him Jethro Gibbs.
Yeah.
It has that, I respect you, you're someone I look up to.
I don't know in my head how you can end this in a way that's going to be, emotionally satisfying. And, I mean, not so much for us as a viewer, but, Phineas, I don't think it doesn't matter who his mom was or what happened there. I don't think there's just any saving this relationship between him and Gibbs now. I think once he learns the truth, if he does, that I think it's just going to be hard, and this is just going to be something that Gibbs has to deal with.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, who knows how long NCIS is going to go on for, and who knows how much Phineas is going to end up learning. It might not be everything. He is a young guy, like a very young kid. So they may not be like, oh, and by the way, it was Jethro Gibbs who killed your mother. I don't know that they may go that far. It just kind of depends on what they share with him, but it would be interesting to see NCIS a few years later when Phineas is older.
Yeah.
And maybe he's 17 or 18 or 16 or sort of in that age where he can learn the truth and then pays Jethro Gibbs a visit. And I don't mean pays him a visit and is like, you killed my mom, like, let's have it out. I don't see it like that. But having just that trusted bond to be able to be like, okay, I now know the truth. Yeah. We need to have this talk because I need to know that A, B, C, D, E, because he's going to have questions.
I just hope no matter whether it's at that point or in this upcoming episode, I just want to have faith that this kid's future is going to be okay, because I don't want this to be like the moment that sends him down some really dark, horrible path where he ends up becoming someone who he's clearly not right now. So don't make me really sad over the future of some little kid. Like, just give us like something to cling to here.
I feel that NCIS is mostly a hopeful show.
Yeah.
Yes, there's death. Yes, there's problems. Yes, there's all of that. But in general, this show brings people a lot of comfort watching it. It does have hope. It does have laughs. It has beautiful moments in it. I just don't feel like they've already killed Phineas's mom. That feels like as dark as it needs to get with this storyline. Yeah. We have Phineas, we have Jethro Gibbs, and we have their relationship, which is really special. I feel like we're gonna walk out of this okay.
I'm just crossing my fingers, that is all. But, alright, we will conclude this video now, but we want to know from you guys, what do you want to see on NCIS Season 17, Episode 11, for Ziva, for Tony, Tali, Gibbs, all of the above? Share in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.